Blessings and welcome forward to Reasonings right here at Trail Life. I'm your host, the Great Owl, right here on Trail Life Television Network. Yo, I gotta say, I'm thankful for the Most High who have provided the strength, the experience, the environment, yeah, and the aptitude in my spirit, to be able to fight when I'm being challenged. But I can tell us spiritual challenges aren't easy. And I always say on this channel that I grow in my understanding, of the information. It's not like I'm just saying that out of one side of my mouth. I've grown to understand that this spiritual journey takes a lot of strength, and you gotta, have perseverance on this vibrational field because it's not easy. It's easy to trip up because there's so much things that go contrary or counter to this navigational frequency, of the right telemetry 432 vibrational frequency, more than just the experience of the Schumann resonance or the Fibonacci or solfeggio. It is a vibrational frequency that we inbreathe from the living cosmos. But to have the right state of mind to go through the many ups and downs, the many tricks and I would say spells, curses, incantations that comes with this journey isn't easy. It's not just people wishing bad for you like a bad thought or a bad practice of thinking negative. It's actually more an activity of doing these negative acts, of working black magic, white magic, any kind of magic, dark, sorcery, spells, curses. All these things are designed to cause hurt, pain, suffering, death, destruction. So when you're on this spiritual journey, usually these are the things that you're quite aware of. Either you've suffered from them or suffering from them, or you are in the process of doing them or learning about them to some degree. So most times when we talk about spirituality, we're not just talking about, just some people being in tune with nature or the perception of God and nature. Actually, some people doing a lot of dark spiritism stuff. You're working spells and incantation, Xing you, cursing you. So when you got a vision, a dream, male or female, along this path, it's very difficult at times to stay focused because, listen, they're attacking the very essence of what will lift you out of the suppression. So usually you're not going to feel motivated to do what you ought to do to survive in this earth. Usually you're going to feel so depressed and broken about the very things that you need to be motivated by or to be motivated in doing. But I made a choice. Just like being a victim, I made a choice not to be victimized. I made a choice to realize that I have a power, that I'm not going to allow these forces to break my consciousness, to break my confidence, to break my authority over my own word and my own life. I made up my mind that I would be committed to serving the truth as the living God in Yod He Vav He's function, of soundness of mind, body, and spirit. Because when you speak certain things, they say, oh, you're high or you're crazy or whatever. And to suffer the fact that sometimes you're not going to get the opportunities, or a lot of times you're not going to get the opportunities coming to you in the natural process. A lot of times these opportunity comes through some very difficult processes. So then you have the choice to make. Do I really want to go and sit amongst these people just for them to approve me, just for them to sign a contract, just for them to say, okay, you can go ahead and do something? Or do I really just want to do it the old-fashioned organic way? That means that some things that you will think that you can do, after a while you will not be able to do it because you will not be convinced you can do it anymore. But it's not to let everything go like that. It's to actually accept that some things will be too overbearing. So you actually ought to let it go, but not to let go your core idea, function, and purpose, which is your core drives. It's like if you're carrying too much baggage and you're not in your best health, you'll be weakened, so it's not the best thing to do. Put them in storage and focus on the things that you can do. Carry the things that you can carry. And usually our motivations can be enhanced by doing the things that we love most in a most delicate, discreet, and subtle way. We don't have to go on a tangent and shout about it. If we're going to work on something amidst all the confusion, we can be secretive about it. Secrecy isn't all about evil and negativity. Don't let people lead your minds astray. Secrecy sometimes is for your best health and your well-being, because number one, you cannot reveal the delicate process of the beginning stages of things because it exposes it to harsh environment and harsh experiences and harsh frequency, right? So that is why you got to admit to yourself that if you're gonna think that you can go and tell everybody everything, some things will have to die in their consciousness because they're gonna assault it. They're gonna slaughter it, to be honest, right? So you got to admit that letting that go will give you a chance to focus more in secret on the things that really bring fulfillment and true benefit, which usually comes through perseverance, yeah, and a direct sense of worth and well-being. You're not gonna just pick up an idea and just say, I'm gonna work on it because I think it's something that can benefit the world. It would have to be something that you are very much easily disposed into doing. It's nothing that's gonna take a great effort out of you. But then you would spend time refining it, refining your understanding of it and your application of it, right? And as such, in time, things does improve if you really get down to the point about recognizing that a faithful journey takes effort. It's not going to just happen overnight. You got to have that singular focus on those things that matter. Eventually, because you protected those things, nurtured those things, those ways of thinking, those ways of being, those ideas, they will start bear fruit. And those good fruits of the spirit begin to manifest as the opportunities now, or the manifest functions of the gifts that you've been given by the Most High, and now having use for them in the experience of life. Now you can see where now your gifts of music can be a ministry unto others. Your gift of knitting, sewing, or just understanding social policy and creating social programs, even when no one was interested. Like for the years I've been doing a lot of my music and stuff and poetry, no one really was interested more than just the average gang around the circle. We're always going to be faithful anyway because that's them. The greater audience usually is distracted by the people with the biggest attention grabbing apparatus, right? So that discourages a lot of people too because they don't have all the money and all of the things that comes with having access to money. But then again, you have some people who do have the access to money, but they don't have, again, that kind of state of mind that focuses on being consistent. They don't have a lot of contingency when things go wrong. So they tend to fall apart, a lot in the very important times of their success, So you got to approach things with an even open mind, expect unexpected, prepare for the unscripted, because it's necessary that you have that sort of awareness to be able to respond to things alertly with a certain clarity of alertness and ability. So you have good responsibility, and that helps you to over time develop trust in your product, your service, and so, or your outlook, or what you have to offer in the experience of life. Because there's a lot of people here, and a lot of people got good ideas. A lot of people spend time working on their good ideas. So you cannot just think, oh, because you got a good idea and you're working on it, that means that automatically people are going to love it, or I got a good poem, or I got a good song. Because the truth of the matter is, all of that I still got to go in the greater, public communal space and vie against all the other similar vibrations that wants our attention. And a lot of people, if you don't put the whole soul vibration in it, they won't feel it. And sometimes even after you put the soul vibration in it, it's not advertised properly, it's not marketed properly, whatever. But when it's just your life and your spirituality, I guess it's not an end product is the issue, it's an end state of mind. So in that case, people won't always support your changes, your attitudes towards bettering, yourself, your outlook, your beliefs about yourself, about your creator, about life, about existence. Yeah, a lot of people won't support that. So as you go along and you nurture some of your more delicate thoughts in your inner being, to when they're strong enough to manifest as actual behaviors and functions and attitudes that can affect the environment, then you can see that, it was good. Nurture them. Because when it starts affecting the environment powerfully, then you can see that that's what you were working on. It was worth your time and your effort, though people weren't always going to be supporting you. Besides, life is an experience in effort. So if you don't put in the effort, you won't have the experience. So most people who are in the audience, let's just say, are open to receive, but most times the majority of people who really are the ones giving the information, They usually never really, if you really think about it, hallelujah, in the audience. And it's not an ego statement to say that their place is on the stage. What I'm trying to say is that most time they were removed from the crowd, from the group. Most time they were kind of outcasts or internal. They were insular. They were introverts. And that space of not being in everybody's space was why their mentalities grew so much, is why creativity was just bursting out of them, is why people like myself will do a channel, right? It doesn't matter if we have the greatest following, but just you think about it, that thing that is creative, that is soulful, because I'm not always in everyone's space or up in everyone's political view or religious view or cosmic view, and people think I'm self-centered. It's actually that I am in self, observing reality, and not caught up with misperceiving myself for the experience and the expressions of others. While it's beautiful to be in the goodness of what life presents in terms of the public, the communal space, you must never confuse others' expression of reality with your own, because you're going on a template that you didn't design. You're using a code that you didn't design, and you're not sure what it is, what its real meanings are. So people have behaviors, they follow fashion trends, and these trends are created by people that are in lifestyles that are not even their own. But they didn't even really notice these things, right? So taking on the vibrations of other beings and other people, I don't tend to do that. And people say that's closed-mindedness, and I'll accept it, because what happens is that sometimes we're so open, we have no place to be expressive of what is present, because everything that is coming in is foreign. Nothing is secured, nothing is protected, nothing is understood. To be self, to be us, to be I and I. And so the creative natures in us just needs expression. It just needs experience, needs focus, and a little self-confidence will help along the way. Nurture, preserve it, because it takes effort. And when you're starting on the journey, the enemies will fight, the opposite will come. They'll always try to block you, they'll always try to stop you. So don't develop a mind that's thinking that they're not there and they shouldn't be there. And why are they there? Because those minds our minds are losing, hallelujah, a lot of energy and time and focus and effort on the trivial and the stuff that cannot be explained but have a tangible effect upon things. So when you waste your time with those things, it takes so much time away from the things that you ought to be focusing on, like yourself. And out of that self-experience will come good relationship if you desire them, family, community, business, services, just a good lifestyle. So until next time, this has been the Great Owl Reasonings right here at the Tree of Life, just overcoming the struggles in the experience of faith and fulfilling myself by the grace of the living God each day, each breath. Like, share, subscribe, the Tree of Life Experience. Blessings, love, and light.